Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weekly Wrangle. This week's topic is why free isn't always a good thing. And there's going to be two parts to this. I'll talk about one part this week, and then in a future Weekly Wrangle, I'll talk about another part. The part that I'm talking about today is free when it comes to you as an artist offering your time, expertise, and skill for some kind of project. You should never do that for free when others are making a profit. And that's, I think, the big thing that we need to establish. Now, that might sound obvious when I say it like that, but many people do work for free. And many people do work for free for others who are making money off of their work. Also, stay tuned for the end because I'm going to give you a bombshell example of exactly what I'm talking about and how many people fall for this trick and get ripped off. And trust me, I know a lot about this topic because I've been the person who offered work for free to someone else. I've been ripped off. I've been burnt out. I've had all of these bad things happen to me, and I don't want them happening to you. So, looking back in my past, one of the first multimedia gigs I got was working at a recording studio here in Colorado. What I did is I created music videos, I created graphic design, I did photo shoots, I did pretty much everything that was multimedia that wasn't audio recording for the artists that came into the studio. This is when I was younger. The owner, Greg, is full-blown narcissist, full-blown professional con artist. And the way that this worked here is I was sick of college. I wanted to drop out. I wanted to just do multimedia stuff like this, CGI, anything that was multimedia, but I didn't have anything on my resume. So the deal was Greg said, "Hey, Tyler, how about this? I give you all the equipment. I give you a steady stream of people that come in. You get to build your portfolio. And who knows, maybe you get some exposure. Maybe you start, developing relationships with these different clients. And you got nothing on your resume right now. So what do you say? You do this for a little bit and this can get you started. What do you think, bud?" That's essentially what the conversation was or what the deal was. And so at the time, I didn't think much about it. It said, makes sense to me. And I went for it. And well, for about 4 to 5 months or so, I was working my ass off. I was doing photo shoots. I was every single day pretty much showing up at the studio around 2 or 3 in the afternoon and not leaving till about 7 in the morning. So I was working swing and midnight shift, doing this pretty much every day and all for no pay. So definitely a very hardcore situation to be in without getting paid. Now, at the time, I wasn't thinking about this stuff. I just wanted to make art. I just wanted to make music videos, have things that I knew how to do. I wasn't really paying attention at all. But what ended up happening eventually was that it got to a point where the respect, which started off on the wrong foot, got worse and worse and worse, all the way to the point where eventually I would go off on a video shoot. The clients had paid Greg roughly $40,000 to $50,000 for a video shoot, for a music video, album production, just the whole thing. So he was making bank, about $40,000, $50,000. He got me to handle most of the work for free. And the straw that broke the camel's back here was eventually I went on a video shoot with him and Greg refused to pay me gas money for the shoot. And by then I had just had the end of my rope and I just straight up yelled at him and I just said, "All right, I'm out of here." That was it. And all of that work really led to nothing, actually. Well, it did lead to one thing. It led to Greg getting a lot of money out of me, not sharing any of it, because that was just one client out of, I'd say, probably like 12 or 15 that he was able to get out of me. And then once I left, he found the next young kid who was willing to do it. And then the cycle continued. This business model, by the way, is completely illegal. But, I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. It just was something that happened, right? Obviously, that's a bad situation. It's a bad situation because I was disrespected. It burnt me out after that. I said, screw multimedia for a little bit. I went and I did construction after that because I was just tired of the whole thing. So it nearly took me out of the game. But eventually I came back around and I decided to go back to school for 3D graphics and animation. It was a close call, though. I was really close to not taking this path to doing CGI because of this free work that I was doing. And I know this is a bit of an extreme example, but this is what happens when you work for free. You get burnt out, the relationship goes nowhere, and at the end of the day, you end up more stretched thin as an artist. And that time could have been spent better doing something else. Instead of working for free, I could have found other people that were at my level trying to do things. I could have tried to find other film students and help them with projects. I could have made my own projects. I could have reached out to musicians organically and at least made some money for helping them out and developing better relationships with them individually like that as well. There's so many better things I could have done than make someone else money and get ripped off for it, right? Obviously, this is a bad situation and hopefully a somewhat cautionary tale for you all to kind of show you, yeah, that's not good. You shouldn't work for free. Let me now take a less obvious example and tell you why it's almost the same thing. Some of you might have seen that SideFX recently came out with a how-to tutorial contest. And the deal is they want you to work for free for probably many days. The timeline here, potentially months, starts in October and it goes to the end of the year. So they want you to work for free for multiple months, submit tutorials, and instead of paying you for your time, they're going to offer you prizes that don't cost them anything. And exposure. Don't forget exposure. So maybe some Houdini merch that they're trying to get rid of because they want to get the new version of it or something. I don't know. This book here, which is an advertisement, and then another advertisement for Houdini School, and 1 year of Houdini effects, which again doesn't cost SideFX anything. That is a contest that you may or may not win. So for all the many, many different hours of work it takes to create tutorials, you're not guaranteed to get paid. You're working for free. And let me just tell you, if you've never made a tutorial before, I can tell you for sure it's a lot of work and it's not even free for you to get going. You need a camera, you need lights. If you want to make a proper tutorial, that is, you need a good microphone. You need to also have, I don't know, the practice of teaching other people and organizing a lesson plan. It's a lot of work that goes into creating tutorials. That's why I've been doing this full time for many years, and I still have a hard time keeping up with all the content that's out there. And so this is not a small ask, in my opinion. This is definitely something that they should be paying people for, and they have paid people for in the past to create content. But instead, no, we're just going to turn it into a fun little game here, and we're going to try to get everything we can for free in the name of being a loving community. The ironic part is that if they really did love the community, they would recognize that the beginners and the intermediates that they want the free work from are going to get burnt out by doing this. And those people should be doing things besides making tutorials in the first place. They should be working with other beginners and intermediate users. They should be working on their demo reel. They should be doing things besides working for SideFX for free and trying to create videos. Just my personal opinion on that. But I don't think it's in the best interest of the target audience that this is going for. Now, who this is in the best interest of is probably people who are in middle management who want to come in under budget for their department and have a lot of work to show for by the end of the year so that they get their bonus. That's probably what is happening here, at least in part, my guess. And I think it's bullshit, to be honest with you. I don't think this is a good thing for the community. And I don't think it's respectful to the artists of the Houdini community. And I believe that it's really unfortunate to see SideFX take on the approach of predatory studios to get free work that they should be paying for. And I was just curious here, going to the comments on YouTube with the video. This guy said, before posting a competition, always ask yourself, would I use my valuable time and resources to win a competition without possible cash and gear? And SideFX responded here by saying that one unwritten benefit of these contests is the recognition you get within the community, the honor, the glory that can lead to job opportunities. SideFX actually has hired some people that we first met through contests. Also, we may add more prizes. So in other words, exposure, right? It's the same exact thing Greg told me. It was like, hey, Tyler, why not give it a shot? Like add some stuff to your portfolio, meet some people, maybe one day you'll get something out of it. Same exact thing. That's exactly what predatory studios tell people to get lots of free work. Now let's zoom out and ask ourselves, how is SideFX winning from this? For one, SideFX gets a lot of marketing content. By having all these videos released on YouTube and everywhere else, it makes it feel like the community is active, like everyone loves Houdini, like everyone is eager to learn about Houdini, right? So it creates a good wave, so to speak, that reaches out into multiple communities. That helps SideFX market, that ultimately leads millions of dollars to their coffers. Also, what this does is it prevents them from needing to hire people internally to provide better documentation, to create their own professionally created videos. SideFX is fairly notorious, I believe, for developing things really quickly, but not properly documenting the process along the way and creating enough supporting content for when things actually release. Yes, they're fast, they go at a breakneck speed, but unfortunately, they don't keep up with their education. And so this sort of community sourcing approach could be a way of them not having to hire more people in order to fix that problem. So it saves them money in that sense as well. The other thing that this can do is it acts as a bit of a recruitment shortcut. So if they get all the people coming to them, that could be less work for HR that they have to hire for. They don't have to go through the extents or all the different lengths to go find people and pay them properly. They just try to get free people showing up at their door and then invite them in at a low price, by the way, because you've already established that you're someone who's willing to work for free. Yeah, it benefits them in many different ways financially. And that's why I have an issue with wanting free work and them making money or saving money as a result. The same thing, by the way, happens every year with Mardini. If you were to actually pay people for their time for all the renders and work that they're creating, it'd probably take anywhere from like $300,000 to $600,000, even at junior rates, to actually pay people for all of those renders. And where did those renders go? Well, it goes to make Houdini look cool. It goes to market things and make the software feel alive and awesome and to get more people signed on. So yes, they are making money off of this stuff. They're making money off of the free efforts that people give. And it's also not a great idea because it's going for the non-professional user, because professionals don't do this. They get paid for their time, by the way. But it goes for the amateur. It goes for the new user that doesn't know better. And ultimately, it's going to burn them out and it's going to distract them from things that can actually lead to better potential for their futures. If you're someone who's been using Houdini for less than a year, you shouldn't be teaching. If you're someone who's been using Houdini for less than a year, you should be finding other people to collaborate with who are on your level. Just like me back in the day when I was making all of this multimedia content. There were better things I could be doing with my time. I could have been studying. I could have been going and doing my own projects of some kind. There are many different things you can do that are better than what working for free for someone else is. So this stuff frustrates me a lot. And it's really against my philosophies, my business philosophies. I've been the guy that's been taken advantage of. I don't want that happening to you. I also don't want you burning out. And I want the newer Houdini user, the new artist, to be successful ultimately, right? This is just such a cheap grab and it's so short-sighted that it's really frustrating to see this happen on such a big scale. So the long story short is that if you are a new artist and you're thinking about doing this, think twice. There's better things that you can do with your time. And more importantly, you need to maintain a sense of self-respect if you're ever going to be a professional artist one day. The only person that you should offer free work to is yourself. Think about that. Think about how you're spending your time, the opportunity costs at play, and I'll leave it up to you. That's my main argument. Now, I can hear in the background many people picking up their pitchforks at what I'm saying right now. And I'm sure I'm not invited to any more cocktail parties at SideFX after this. I don't care. I care about the end user, the person that needs to be successful. Um, Counter arguments would be like this. It would be like, hey, I know many people that create tutorials for free because they just like helping people. They just like being a good person. And that's fine. When you put out a free tutorial and you're just trying to help the community, that's great. You're not making other people millions of dollars. And that's one thing I just want to say. What makes this a ripoff is the fact that there's not a equal balance of sacrifice. And if you are just making tutorials or you're making renders because you just want to do it for yourself, that's great. Just don't let other people make money off of you, because then it's not great. And then it's going to burn you out and you're not going to want to do those things anymore, are you? No. On that bombshell, thanks for watching. Good luck out there, and I hope you have a great day.